The sun rose over Kurukshetra, spilling blood-red light across the plains. Thousands of warriors stood poised, their armor glinting, flags fluttering, chariots rattling with tension. The air was heavy with the scent of dust, sweat, and the distant roar of anticipation. Steel had never felt so cold. Hearts had never raced so fast. And there, in the center of it all, sat Arjuna, the peerless archer, the mighty Pandava prince. His bow rested uneasily in his hand, yet he could not lift it. His eyes wandered across the ranks of friends, kin, and revered elders, each ready to fight, each bracing for death. How could he strike? How could he unleash arrows upon fathers, teachers, and brothers who had nurtured him? Every fiber of his being trembled, caught between duty and love, honor and horror. His mind was a storm, each thought battering the next. Doubt crept in like a shadow. Was this war righteous? Was victory worth the cost? The clamor of battle faded into a murmur in his ears. The cries of men, the thundering hoofs, the shouts of command, all became distant echoes. A silent question haunted him. What is the purpose of killing those who were once my family? And in that silence, Arjuna's heart sunk. His hands shook. His chest tightened. He felt the weight of the world pressing upon his shoulders. The battlefield was no longer merely physical. It was a landscape of the soul, where courage met conscience, where honor collided with fear. He sunk onto the chariot floor, unable to lift his bow, unable to command himself. Tears welled in his eyes, though his face remained stern. The warrior who had once laughed in the face of danger now felt paralyzed by grief. The stage was set, not for combat, but for revelation. Krishna, the charioteer, the guide, the friend, watched Arjuna with a calm that seemed to pierce the chaos itself. His presence was unyielding yet gentle, a lighthouse amid a storm of emotion. Arjuna turned to him, voice strained, words trembling yet urgent. "O Krishna, I see these kinsmen gathered before me, fathers, teachers, brothers. I cannot fight against them. My heart quivers. My limbs fail me. What is duty if it demands this?" His voice cracked, betraying the storm inside. "I do not desire victory, O Lord. I do not desire kingdom, wealth, or pleasure. How can success bring joy when it is paved with the death of my own?" The words lingered in the air, heavy as the swords and spears poised for battle. Silence enveloped the chariot as Arjuna's internal struggle unfolded, a tempest of grief, fear, and confusion. His gaze fell to the ground, seeking an answer he could not find. He felt the sickness of despair, the vertigo of uncertainty. What is righteousness? What is sin? What is the meaning of life when the heart recoils at its own duty? Krishna's calm gaze met his, unwavering. The charioteer said nothing yet, allowing Arjuna's turmoil to rise, allowing the truth of human vulnerability to manifest in all its intensity. The silence was a crucible. Arjuna's soul was being stripped bare, layer by layer, until only raw sincerity remained. Arjuna's mind spun faster than the wheels of the chariot. Every memory of his teachers, every lesson from his father, every bond of friendship, now became a chain of guilt. His heart ached. His breath was ragged. "O Krishna," he cried, his voice breaking across the battlefield. "Seeing my own kinsmen ready to fight, I am overcome. My limbs fail, my mind reels. I see no good in killing those who are my own. I feel dishonor even in attempting it. I am lost." He sunk further, almost as though the earth itself wished to take him. The weight of Dharma, the eternal law of duty, pressed down, yet the law of compassion tugged him in the opposite direction. How could he reconcile the two? His voice rose in anguish, echoing across the field. "I do not know whether to fight or to flee. I am confused. My heart quakes. My mind is bewildered." The warriors around him prepared for the inevitable clash. Spears were readied, banners raised, war cries forming. But Arjuna was immobile. His battle was no longer with the men across the field, but within himself. Arjuna's bow slipped from his hands, clanging against the floor of the chariot. He turned fully to Krishna, eyes wide with desperation, seeking guidance, seeking clarity, seeking refuge. "O Lord, I am your disciple, and my mind is tangled. I am lost in the darkness of doubt. Guide me, Krishna. Show me the path when my heart falters. When duty conflicts with love, when honor conflicts with mercy, tell me what is right." This was surrender. Not the surrender of weakness, but the surrender of the soul acknowledging its own limits. The mighty warrior had laid down his pride, his arrogance, his assumption of understanding. He had become a seeker. Krishna observed silently, radiating calm, strength, and infinite wisdom. There was no judgment, only presence. Arjuna had reached the threshold, the point at which guidance could transform despair into clarity, grief into resolve, confusion into courage. The battlefield paused. Not in the silence of death, but in the breathless moment of awakening. The war outside was raging, but the war inside had begun, and it would define the destiny of nations and men alike. Arjuna's mind wrestled with the weight of Dharma, his sacred duty as a warrior, as a son of the Pandava line, as a man in a world bound by moral law. How could he wield his bow against those he loved? Could victory ever be sweet when purchased with their lives? The questions tore at him. Is personal sorrow greater than cosmic order? Is fear of grief stronger than responsibility? Is hesitation a betrayal or a moral necessity? He looked again at the enemy lines. Faces he had known since childhood stared back. Fathers, teachers, brothers, all ready for battle, all ready for death. And yet, Arjuna saw the futility, the impermanence, the cycle of life and death that even the greatest warriors could not escape. He felt the pull of compassion, the ache of empathy, the horror of mortality. His mind became a storm of paradox: kill to protect, yet protect by killing; uphold justice, yet cause suffering; follow the law, yet honor love. It was a moment that transcended the battlefield, a moment that touched the essence of human existence, where choice and duty, fear and courage, sorrow and honor collide in the heart of man. Finally, Arjuna's eyes met Krishna's with clarity born of despair, honesty, and surrender. He spoke not as a commander, not as a prince, but as a man seeking truth. "O Krishna, I am bewildered. I am undone. My mind cannot see the path. I bow to you, guide me, for I have nowhere else to turn." In that bowing of the heart, the warrior found the first stirrings of courage. Not the false courage of pride, but the true courage of humility. He had surrendered his confusion, his attachment, his fear. The charioteer, friend, and guide was ready. And in that readiness, a promise emerged that knowledge, wisdom, and divine guidance could illuminate the path even through the darkest storm of the mind. The battlefield remained, but the paralysis lifted. The stage was set, not just for war, but for revelation. Arjuna's surrender marked the dawn of insight, the first step toward understanding Dharma, life, and the eternal law that governs all. The sun blazed higher. Dust swirled. Warriors moved. And yet, in the heart of the chariot, the true battle, the battle within, had begun. The saga of courage, fear, duty, and surrender would unfold. The lessons of life, death, and duty were about to be revealed, and the world would never forget the voice of Arjuna in that moment of surrender to divine wisdom.